What's up folks, welcome back to another episode of Mr. Times Classics channel. In today's episode I'm going to be checking out the famous Sphinx using Assassin's Creed Origins. We'll be looking at what it is, where it was located, how it's built, and some of the key mysteries surrounding it, so make sure you stick around. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, comment and subscribe, it really does help the channel grow. Let's dive straight into it. The Great Sphinx is a colossal statue depicting a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. The human face is widely believed to represent the pharaoh Khafre, who died in around 2532 BCE, during Egypt's Old Kingdom. Archaeological evidence supports this theory, placing the construction of the Sphinx around 2500 BCE. The statue was carved directly from the bedrock of the Giza Plateau, and later covered in a layer of limestone to smooth and preserve its surface. In terms of scale, the Sphinx is enormous, approximately 73 metres long, 20 metres high and 19 metres wide, making it one of the largest and oldest monolithic statues in the world. There are traces of pigment found on the face, which suggest that the Sphinx was once brightly painted, which would have made it even more striking against the ancient landscape. However, not everyone agrees on its origin. Author Robert Temple has proposed an alternative theory, that the statue originally represented Anubis, the jackal-headed god of funerary rites, a fitting figure for this vast burial area or necropolis. According to Temple, the current human face may have been recarved later to resemble the pharaoh Amenemhat II of the Middle Kingdom. The Great Sphinx is located in front of the pyramid complex here at Giza. The pyramid directly behind the Sphinx belongs to the pharaoh Khafre, the same pharaoh many believe the Sphinx was modelled after. Just over to the right, you can see the Great Pyramid of Khufu, which I've covered in a previous video. Feel free to check out that video if you're interested, and of course, don't forget to like, subscribe and all that good stuff that really helps the channel grow. Over to the left is the Pyramid of Menkaure, the smallest of the three main pyramids here at Giza. In front of the Sphinx are the ruins of the so-called Sphinx Temple, which was never fully completed. The Sphinx itself faces east, directly towards the rising sun, aligning with the beliefs of the ancient Egyptian solar cult, which worshipped the sun god Ra. This eastward orientation may have had a symbolic meaning, linking the Sphinx with rebirth, power and divine kingship. Though we call it the Sphinx, this is a term from ancient Greek, where it referred to a mythological creature with the head of a woman, falcon, cat or even a sheep, and the body of a lion, often with the wings of an eagle. The Egyptians, however, left off the wings. The name Sphinx comes from the Greek word sphingo, which means to squeeze, since the creature is said to have strangled anyone who failed to answer its riddles. In Greek mythology, the Sphinx held the city of Thebes hostage until Oedipus solved its famous riddle. We don't know the original name the Egyptians gave the Sphinx, but by the New Kingdom it was associated with the sun god Horus under the title Horemakhet, Horus of the Horizon. The Sphinx features a series of different holes and passageways. One hole in the head, not shown in the game, is thought by some to have been used by a priest who spoke through it, as if the Sphinx itself was speaking. Others believe it was used as an anchoring point for some sort of crown. Imagine those Playmobil figures with their different hairstyles. Now at the back of the Sphinx is a tunnel called the Rump Passage, which is a fantastic name for a tunnel if you ask me. This was discovered in around 1926. The game doesn't show you these passages as they remain today, instead digressing into some sort of side quest. Still, we'll explore what we can and I'll explain what we know to exist. So the Rump Passage is meant to split into an upper section and a lower section. The upper one rises about 4 metres into the Sphinx's core, while the lower part descends about 4 metres into the bedrock. These tunnels likely date back to the Sphinx's original construction, perhaps used for drainage or some sort of other purpose. Some later shafts, however, were created by workers or archaeologists during explorations. Now, over the centuries, stories have circulated about secret tunnels running from the Sphinx to the pyramids, or even to a vast underground library linked to the legendary Hall of Records, said to contain the wisdom of Atlantis. I believe this is what the game is leaning into here. I know in this room you have to collect a number of constellations and then get access to a tomb. It's been a while since I've played the quests in the game. Now this game is set in the 1st century BCE, and we can see that the nose of the Sphinx is very much intact. However, today as we look at it, it's missing, which is one of the biggest mysteries about the Sphinx. Close examination suggests it was deliberately chiselled off, not damaged by erosion. A popular folktale claims that Napoleon's army fired cannonballs at the Sphinx during his invasion of Egypt in the late 18th century, but this is now considered false. Drawings from before Napoleon's time already show that the nose was missing. The true reason for its destruction remains unknown. Some theories suggest it was an act of anger towards Khafre or the pharaohs after their death, while others propose it was disfigured by later religious groups who viewed the Sphinx as heretical or pagan. As with the pyramids, there are plenty of wild theories about how the Sphinx was constructed. Some suggest aliens must have been involved, claiming that the skills and knowledge available 4,500 years ago couldn't have been sufficient, but like the pyramid theories, this idea has been disproven. Some archaeologists, however, believe that the Sphinx could be much older, possibly dating back to 10,000 BCE. They suggest it was built by an advanced civilization, perhaps even Atlantis, and left this behind as a marker. I've also mentioned the Hall of Records, theorised to be hidden beneath the Sphinx, containing the knowledge of an ancient super civilization, though nothing's actually been found. Another popular theory links the Sphinx and the pyramids to the celestial alignments. The claim is that they match the stars in the Orion's Belt constellation, while the Sphinx itself faces the Leo constellation. Some believe these alignments were made by an advanced civilization, or even aliens. People always want there to be something more to associate with the Sphinx and the pyramids, but so far, the evidence just isn't there. The site at Giza was abandoned during the First Intermediate Period, a time spanning roughly 125 years, from 2181 to 2055 BCE. During this period, sand buried the Sphinx up to its shoulders, and excavation didn't begin again until 1400 BCE. This stele, found between the paws of the Sphinx, was put up by the pharaoh Thutmose IV, and reports that Thutmose came to the site and rested nearby. He had a dream that the Sphinx spoke to him, and promised that he would become pharaoh if he cleared away the sand. Accordingly, this stele is known as the Dream Stele. In the Greco-Roman period, the Sphinx became a tourist destination, with viewing platforms and walkways constructed around it. Modern archaeology started in 1817, and since then, restoration efforts have focused on repairing the headdress and performing general maintenance. So that's a wrap on our exploration of the Great Sphinx. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future content. Your support really helps the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.